Say hi. Say hi. Hi guys, hola hola, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roxanne. Hi, if this is your first time here. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about sort of like the most disappointing reads of last year. I went into a lot of these with really high expectations. I probably just shouldn't have gone in with high expectations at all, but sometimes you can't help that. So there aren't as many as I thought there were gonna be, to be quite honest. Again, like I said in my favorites video, I tried really hard when choosing my books last year to pick books that I really thought that I would enjoy so that I wouldn't have all these disappointments throughout the year. So there are 1, 3, 4, like 5 books or so. And I read 79, so really not bad at all. And yeah, let's just get right into it. The first book that I was just so disappointed by was A Fierce and Subtle Poison by Samantha Mabry. This book is about it's supposed to be magical realism about the stories and the sort of like myths of the island of Puerto Rico, stories that are passed down through generations, stories that kids stay up late listening to their grandma tell them. And so it's about this girl who apparently has like these abilities. I think that if she touches anyone, they die or something like that. Is the sort of like the drama surrounding her, and you never really see her, like the people of the community never really see her or anything. So it's very intriguing. I don't have a lot of experience with magical realism, so I went into it excited to read a YA story, magical realism, set in Puerto Rico where I was born. And then I started reading it, and it was told through the perspective of a really boring, really bland, like white boy who's the son of a hotel owner in Puerto Rico. So that alone, I was like, why? Why is that why is that your protagonist? Why is this the person that's telling us the story? We don't really get a lot of depth to the female characters, which are the most interesting ones in my opinion. They're not talked about as much. It's not a long book. It's a pretty short book. So there was just a lot of potential there that wasn't explored. And then everything about the island seemed very like touristy almost. Like these are the things that I can find out about Puerto Rico by doing a quick Google search about Puerto Rico. I think I read about the author, and I think she might have like Latinx family, but I don't think they're from Puerto Rico. If they are, it just didn't read like she was from there. And as someone from there, and who has read books that sound so uniquely Puerto Rican, and that sounds so genuine, this didn't feel like that at all. So I was really let down. I was so excited about this book, and it has a beautiful cover and it has a beautiful title, and I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. And then just it didn't live up to the expectations that I had, and I do not recommend it. The book that was a really big disappointment for me was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is the first in what I think is a trilogy, but I'm not sure. This book had so much hype around it, like so much hype, and so I decided to give it a try, and I did not enjoy it. It was a really quick read. Like I'm talking super quick. Like you can get through that book if you don't have anything to do. You can get through that book in a day in just like 4 hours or so. Like it's that quick, which I mean is fine. And so if you want like a quick contemporary, like fun fluffy read, that's totally fine, and that's sort of the book that it was. So I didn't really have an issue with that so much as I hated the main character. She seemed so immature and so whiny, and she didn't read like the 16 or 17-year-old girl that she was supposed to be. And then so the premise of the story is that she's always been shy about her crushes and about the guys that she's sort of had feelings with for or whatever. So she writes them letters as opposed to telling them, and then the letters are mysteriously sent out to all of these boys, and then she's confronted by them about the stories, and the letters play almost no role in the freaking story. It was just a device to pull you in because that, ooh, why, how did that happen? Why did that happen? and then you don't really hear anything about the freaking letters. It's so stupid. And then some of the letters had total non-issues in them, so they weren't even really worth talking about. There's a love triangle, which I hate love triangles, so if you like triangles, you might like it. If you don't read it. There was just so much about it that wasn't explored. She didn't really grow as a character like I thought she could have. There was, again, the freaking letters. I don't understand how you're gonna tell me a synopsis about these stupid letters and then not tell me about them in the freaking story. It was so annoying. I got through it because I just didn't wanna. I don't like to not finish books, and it was such a quick read that I was like, I might as well just finish it. But I didn't enjoy it. I think I gave it like 2 stars, and I don't even know why I gave it that. But yes, I did not like that book at all. So another book that I did not like was actually the very last book that I read this year, which was One Kick by Chelsea Kane. So this book is about it's about this girl, and she was kidnapped when she was young, when she was very, very young, and then she was used as part of like this childhood pornography group of criminals, essentially. And so she is found and continues to live her life, and now we are introduced to her again. So the first chapter is when she's found, and then the next time we're introduced to her in the following chapter, she is already grown up, and so now she's trying to help this person find missing kids that sort of have their situation has similarities to what she went through. So I thought it was an interesting concept. I knew that it was going to have some difficult topics, but I thought it was going with them okay. There wasn't anything particularly like amazing or horrible about it. It was just an okay read, which is sort of what I expected. That's why I picked it up. I didn't think it was going to be anything so amazing or anything. I was in the mood for a mystery, and so I picked it up. And then when we are sort of given more information about who our antagonist is, in page 270 it says Mel had this might be a spoiler, by the way, just FYI, if you want to read this book at some point, maybe not, maybe skip through this, but it says Mel had known this day might come. He had taught her about the Comanche, I'm not sure, about their raiding parties, how they murdered adults and took children captive. Most of the children were slaughtered, but some, the cooperative ones, the pliant ones, would be given Indian names and welcomed into the tribe. One of the greatest and most arrogant Comanche chiefs wore a vest of Spanish armor, and many believed him to have supernatural powers because the vest repelled bullets so easily. What? So if we go 270 pages without this having like any sort of relation to I mean, it's in Seattle, so I guess maybe that's where she pulled it out of her ass, but like what? Why are you gonna give me, and literally that's all we get is one paragraph about this supposed guy who fucking steals kids and murders them, and he comes from this tribe of Indians who are a bunch of savages apparently, who raid families and kill adults and kill children. What? I was so freaking pissed. And so I'm like, I even looked it up, and like the Comanche, I looked it up like for like 2 seconds. I didn't do research in it, but like it's a legit tribe, and I was like, what? And then that's it. Like that's literally it. It goes from here to here. That's it. That's all we get. There's no like, she doesn't explore that at all. I mean, not to be honest, if that's what she can do with a paragraph, I don't know what she would do with exploring that at all. But like, it came totally out of left field. It wasn't necessary. All it did was piss me the hell off. And so this went from like a 3-star book to like a fucking 1-star book. Don't recommend this. Don't read this crap. It was so stupid and useless and ridiculous, and it just pissed me off. Like really, this couldn't just be a random Joe Schmo from the fucking corner who is a horrible person, obviously, because he kidnapped kids. But like, why do you have to play into the Indians are savages stereotype? Up next, the book that I was really disappointed by was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This book is about 2 kids who have who are going through depression, and they meet at the rooftop of one of the buildings in their school, and they sort of, I guess, save each other from committing suicide. And I was excited to see how this book would explore that, and how we would learn about these kids and the lives that they have. And I know that a lot of people absolutely love this book, and I know that a lot of people can relate to it, and I'm really happy that they can. But to me, it read like they were caricatures of, like, they were caricatures instead of well-developed characters. Like, they were reduced to only their depression, and that was it. Like, you didn't really get anything beyond that, and it was disappointing, and it was predictable. The end was predictable, so I just didn't really enjoy this one at all. I'm gonna unhaul probably most of these books. Yeah, I just didn't really like this one. But I know a lot of people love it, so this could just be like a personal thing where I just didn't connect with it, but maybe someone else will, who has been through more similar experiences that these characters have been through. But yeah, I thought that we didn't really get full-fledged developed characters. And then the last book is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, based on original story by J.K. Rowling, written by Jack Thorne. I'm gonna keep this probably just because, I don't know, because it's Harry Potter, I guess, but it's not. Like, it's not. It's really, really not. And this, I don't consider this to be canon. I don't consider this to be the 8th story. These are not the fucking characters that we know. These are not. They're not. They're not. And I mean, like, all this bullshit of, oh, people grow up and change. Yes, obviously, we know that. But these are not even, they're not even like hints of the characters that they were in the original series. I mean, come on. And the people were like, oh, well, it's a play, you have to read it like a play. Yes, thank you, I know, I've read plays before. Plays can be well developed and have developed characters and be engaging and have wonderful, amazing stories. This was none of that. None of the shit that happens in here would happen. It really wouldn't. Like, don't play yourself. Don't try and give me that crap. It wouldn't happen. I hate this book. I hate this book with such a passion. And like, the thing was, when I finished it, I impulsively wanted to give it like a good rating because it was Harry Potter and because like that nostalgia of it. But then I started thinking about it and I was like, it really doesn't deserve that. Like, I really don't want to give it that because I don't think it deserves it. I don't think these characters are the characters that we know. The things that are supposed to have happened for this story to come about wouldn't really happen. Like, let's be real, it wouldn't really happen. And like, there's just so much about it that was wrong. Like, why is this necessary? Like, sometimes, and I've heard, you know, and I've heard that the play is absolutely amazing, and that it's worth it to go see it. And I believe that maybe in visual it will translate better. But again, I don't know if I could get over the actual plot of it. I really don't know, even seeing it visually. So I mean, I think it was unnecessary. I don't think it should be considered canon. I certainly don't consider it canon. I mean, it's a beautiful, like, book. It looks really pretty, so I might keep it in my collection for that. But I mean, you could really tell that it wasn't written by J.K. Rowling, and like the nostalgic feeling that I sort of felt and why I wanted to initially give it a high rating went away immediately, because you don't really feel like you're back in that world. You really don't. At least I didn't. But then when I went to go see Fantastic Beasts, even though it's in a different continent, I was like, oh God, I'm back in that world. It's beautiful. I love it. And this just didn't translate well with this book. I didn't like it. I'm not going to reread it again. I don't recommend it to anybody. There you go. I might get a lot of hate for this, but whatever. It's just a horrible book, alright? So yeah, those are my least favorite books, my most disappointing books of last year. Let me know if you've read any of them and what you think. And yeah, what were your worst reads of last year? I would love to know. And thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is wherever you are.